Most people nowadays say, I have no time. Of course you don't. Because you are not aware of the present. You know, the present is represented on your watch by a hairline that is as thin as possible as is consistent with visibility. And so everybody thinks the present is, instead of now, the present is the only real time. There is no past, and there isn't a future, and there never will be.
Welcome. We are back. What is going on? Sunday stream. It's been a long time. I used to stream on Sundays every single week for those of you who are here, and then I stopped, but we're doing it tonight for one night only, and it's a little special. It's a special, all right? Like if you're watching a TV show, this is a special episode, so get your popcorn or whatever you enjoy eating while watching, whatever you enjoy watching, and let's get into it. A lot is going on. Right off the bat, the S&P 500, major support. I talked about this on my last stream. I said I was flipping back to short-term bullish. We talked about a support zone. We bounced off that support zone. We kind of saw all the bearish variables play out. And now we're kind of creating some new variables, which I'm going to bring up in a little bit. Bitcoin and Ethereum had a nice close to the week, but they're pulling back a little bit right now. What else is going on? Time change, how will that affect the market? I'm just kidding. And the Bucks came back today, which was nice. I'm just trying to think of random things right now. We do have some stuff coming up this week. We have I need to stop saying we have mid cap and growth stock earnings. So we have SoFi. This seems old. Because didn't AMD already report? Something seems off here. Roku already reported too. I think, okay, all right. Not Cheddar Freeze's fault, my fault. But I thought this was this week's calendar, and it's not. I don't think Cheddar Freeze uploaded yet. So I pulled this up. I even pulled up the weekly calendar. So neither of those are accurate right now. This is the most insane timing ever. I don't know if Cheddar's watching the stream right now, but look at this. Literally, as I am saying it, he just shared it. That's pretty crazy. So there we go. Let me open up the new ones now, the updated ones. Shout out to Cheddar Freeze. That's actually crazy timing. And if you were listening to like the little song before the stream started, it was literally talking about like timing and stuff. That it's too much of a coincidence. I don't know what's happening. Right now. So yeah, this week we have Disney and AMC and Upstart and Plug and Lucid reporting on Tuesday. I mean, I already skipped Monday. Monday we have two big ones, especially if you've been watching the stream for a while. We have Palantir before the open, and then CLOV tomorrow after the close. Also Lyft after the close. We already talked about Tuesday. Wednesday, Rivian. I'm really interested to see that one. We've also got Wynn Resorts, Unity, Beyond, The Trade Desk, Roblox, Fiverr, Wendy's. We're going to be doing a fast food tier list. I've done it before on the stream by myself. Well, I've actually done it by myself and with like 3 or 4 other people. But this one's going to be a little bit special because we're going to be doing it with the lump. And me and him have very, very different opinions on fast food. And it gets a little bit heated sometimes, pun intended. So we are going to chop it up and discuss why we think certain things are better or worse than others when it comes to fast food restaurants. So continuing with the earnings, we have NEO on Thursday. NEO had a really good day, I believe, on Friday. And I was talking about the HSI Hang Seng Index breakout last Thursday night on stream. If you saw Chinese stocks on Friday, it was a pretty good time. We're going to be looking at some of those again tonight. Six Flags also on Thursday, Poshmark, and then I'm not seeing anything I really recognize on Friday. So another big earnings week, and then we have the economic calendar right over here. I'm trying to like really zoom in here, trying to see if there's some FOMC speakers, industrial production and business inventories on Wednesday, CPI on Thursday. That's probably the highlight of this week. So we have CPI this Thursday, initial jobless claims, and some housing stats. So decent amount of things going on this week. All right, let me take a look at the chat. What's up? Zeke, Plebere, AK the guy, I am, Lindsay Glenn, and let's see. The guy said, please join, Zeke, please join the food debate. Yeah, anybody else who is a mod is welcome to join. We're gonna do it probably around 8:30. And if you want to give your opinions on fast food restaurants, feel free to join in. All right. And also, so here's how we're going to do it. I already told the lump to make his own tier list. I already have mine. It's literally right over here. It's already done. It's from like the last stream that we did it. And I'm going to make mine. He's going to make his. We're going to discuss why we feel certain ways about certain ones. And then I'm going to leave it up to all of you. I'm going to do a poll in the chat. And I'm going to say champs tier list, lumps tier list, and whoever all of you vote for has the best tier list will be the fast food critic champion. All right. But before we get into that, let's talk about everything going on heading into the week. Hope you all had a good weekend. Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of did until today. But yeah, Bitcoin, we talked about this on my last stream. It was down over here. I talked about the back test. And on Friday, Saturday, we saw a very nice move. We flipped this previous resistance around 20K into a support, not once, but twice. Got to move up to 21.5K. Now we've pulled back down to around 21K. And now it's like we're just doing the same thing again. You can see we flipped this previous resistance into a support. And right now, for now, Bitcoin is back testing its most recent previous resistance as a support. So we'll see. It kind of even looked like a little bit of a bull flag going on here on the 4-hour, but then you did just get this flush candle, which kind of sucks. But just to reiterate this, on the 4-hour time frame, you can still see you're somewhat, I mean, you're barely hanging on right now, but you're also barely hanging on over here. Maybe still back testing. Even if you don't, though, you still have that support beneath you around 20K. But yeah, at the highs, the Bitcoin swing that I alerted was up about 8%. Currently, it is up 5%. Then we have Ethereum, which at the highs, same thing happened to AMC. AMC was a recent swing I alerted. It got so close to target, it was up like 20-something% since the entry. It was only a few percent away, and it fell all the way back down to the entry. So I had to mark it a break even. Ethereum got up 14% since the entry. The first target is 15%. It was 1% away from the first target, and now it's only up 7%. You got a very big rejection off the 200-day moving average. In all honesty, though, that was very close to the first target. You were looking at the chart over the weekend and you saw the first target in the 200-day moving average. I mean, it was kind of already there. But that bull flag did play out. Now you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we're just waiting for more data. But as long as you can make a high or low above that entry price around 1,500, that would be fine. We'll see what happens. Moving on to other markets, the US 10-year, pretty much the same, just back testing the breakdown of the trend line, but the trend is still the friend of bulls. And then this is interesting, crude oil started creating this short-term bear flag, but it actually broke up and got invalidated with a bullish engulfing candle. And then it pretty much went up to $93, which is this mini resistance, and tested that for right now. But bear flag invalidated, at least for now. Maybe you could like redraw one, I guess. But decent move for sure. Then we have metals. Gold is testing a breakout right now. You could maybe redraw this a little bit, but it's still testing a breakout regardless of this down sloping channel it's been in since April. And also this huge 1680-ish level. You can see these lows from last year, even this low from this summer. And right now you're testing a breakout of that level with a bullish engulfing candle, which is very interesting. And then silver as well broke out a couple weeks back and is now retesting 2090 as resistance. This whole entire area, honestly, the resistance for silver, like all the way up here. So a decent amount of resistance there. And then the dollar currency index, it looks like it's creating a larger bull flag. I mean, this is a very large pattern though, so we'll see what it turns out to be. But you did get a very big bearish engulfing candle on Friday, it seems. So there's that. And then this is the big one. I talked about this breakout on the last stream. The Hang Seng Index, it was literally right over here. I said it was back testing the breakout last Thursday night, and then Friday was up 5%. A lot of Chinese stocks did very well. Even a lot of the Chinese stocks were having interesting charts. BABA was up 7%. I mean, just looking at this chart, BABA's kind of like breaking out of its own down sloping channel here with classic bullish divergence. If we go over to the weekly chart, really zoom out here and see it bounce like right off the all-time low support, which is very interesting. Also got a weekly bullish engulfing candle. And then NEO was up 18%. I charted this recently. I'm just going to rechart it. I did chart this down sloping channel on one of the streams recently, and that broke out and it's up 18%. It's now retesting this low from May 12th as resistance, but very big trend change for some Chinese stocks, at least for right now. It could just be a dead cat bounce. And literally what I was saying for the last few days on the stream was just a dead cat bounce. Looks like it's going to happen soon, and that's what, at least for right now, is what we're getting. You're still below, or maybe even retesting the weekly trend line that was held for 20 something years. So now it's kind of a retest, but you did close with a bullish engulfing candle. Maybe this is just all a fake out. You get back above probably the most important line you could draw on the Chinese stock market chart. I hope that's not crazy to say, but there is at least the start for right now. Even got some weekly classic bullish divergence on NEO, and look, it even filled this gap from July of 2020. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the week. Now let's move over to US equities. Let's talk about the stock market. Let's start off with the weekly time frame. The S&P 500 did pull back a bit last week, had a nice bounce day on Friday, but you are almost confirmed with the classic bullish divergence on the weekly. You have a descending broadening wedge, and you perfectly bounced off this 50% retrace, which was also resistance in October, around just before election time in 2020. It was a resistance we saw for a little bit. So remember, the middle of that month, we had this pretty rough week right over here, right before elections. And then you had elections and you just kept ripping until like the beginning of really this year. But you flip that previous area of resistance into a support. Now you've gotten this bounce off of it. I know there are a lot of people drawing similarities between this price action and 2008. I'm just taking it as it goes, because really 2008 is the only sample size that there is like to try and draw comparisons like to this. So I'm just looking at it week by week. Let's move over to the daily now for the S&P 500. Looks like you bounced in the middle of nowhere. If we look at the daily, you didn't really go down to like this major support zone. And this zone right over here, this yellow zone, is the title and the thumbnail of this stream. That's the major support I'm talking about. All right. We are now back above that. And not only that, but we're reversing, at least for right now, above that support. Futures are a little bit red right now. But you didn't even, the bears did not even allow a drop, at least for right now, down back to this support, which in my opinion shows strength. Now, you did bounce at some sort of level. We talked about this last stream, this 1 hour zone. It's not the same yellow zone you just saw on the daily. It's a little bit higher. You could see with some lows from over here and then some resistance over here. You bottomed off of that twice, kind of like a dragon pattern on the 1 hour, and you broke out into the close on Friday. Also it's very close to / pretty much a 3 white soldiers candle pattern on the 1 hour. So variables very quickly changed. Even on the 4 hour, there was some classic bearish divergence at these highs. If you watched last Tuesday's stream, if I'm remembering correctly, that's when I was bearish. That's when I was saying going into FOMC, it looked like we were about to break down. There was these wedges, the classic bearish divergence, but that has already played out now. We rejected the resistance. We pulled back down to a common retrace area. I literally did this Fibonacci on my last stream. And now we are developing some potential hidden bullish divergence with a higher low. If this low holds around 369, that would be the first higher low in a while for the S&P 500 on some higher time frames. So all of this, in my opinion, is good for right now. If I know I've been kind of confusing because there's so many different ways I'm looking at things, but my overall focus, like short term, it keeps changing day by day, and that's why I say on the streams my short term plan is this, whatever. But if you have been watching for the last couple of weeks, I have been overall saying I think we can still rally into the end of the year. I kind of feel like the low of the year is in. I don't know that for sure. And honestly, it's very easy for me to be wrong about that. It would only take like a 7% decline, which in this type of market could literally be 2 bad days, which is crazy to think about. But we've seen that literally already before this year, I think. Don't quote me on that. But I do feel like with this potential higher low, all the lows we've already seen here, and the fact that it used to be resistance over here, that's kind of like our short-term floor. I don't know if this is the absolute bottom of this bear market. I'm not saying that. But I think we can at least see more of a rally before that eventually breaks, if/when it does. That's really what I'm trying to convey to all of you. And it's just my opinion, and it could be wrong. But that's where we're at right now for the S&P 500. Pretty nice day on Friday. Well, it was not a great, like, you started well and then you sold off, and then you had this like afternoon rally, but you ended up closing decently. And then the Qs, you did fill the gap. I talked about this on Thursday's stream. You had that gap to fill. You pretty much went up to fill that gap and then stopped going up after that. So now you're pretty close to your previous lows of the year. It's a little bit different than the SPY. It sold off a little bit more relative to the yearly lows. But if we go over to the 4-hour, the variables are changing. It's kind of like a back test. You're bouncing right off of a back test of this downsloping channel you were in since August. Also, it's a little bit skewed because of this little island, but pretty much also potential hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Here's something I've kept a little bit secret. I charted this on Friday. You didn't really drop down to the 886, which would have lined up perfectly with this 257 support, but you did start getting a bounce pretty close to the pattern completion zone of a 1-hour bullish bat that's pretty much 3 weeks long. So that is interesting. Something I'm going to be keeping an eye on throughout this week for the Qs. Let's move over to the VIX now. Breaking well below the 200-day moving average. This looks like it's going a little bit further down. Again, if we look at the past, this yellow squiggly line over here, the 200-day moving average, you do go a little bit below before going back up historically. Well, I don't know. You're kind of just going straight down. Look how many red candles you have in a row. It's pretty crazy. So the VIX has been selling off. Even this kind of could turn into a harmonic, turn into a bullish bat if the VIX drops a little bit more. So if the VIX keeps dropping, and the VIX/SPY inverse correlation hasn't even been great lately. There has been some red days where the SPY isn't doing well and the VIX also isn't. But it is kind of already in the bat action magnet movement. And if that fully plays out, then a drop could be down towards $21. And then maybe there, if we get there on the VIX, that's when the markets start getting some turbulence. So this kind of also lines up with, again, this 4-hour thesis I'm having with the hidden bullish divergence. If this does play out, the VIX will keep dropping in that time frame till it gets here. And then maybe the SPY gets back up to like resistance or something, and that's where it starts rejecting. So it kind of does start to tell a story somewhat. I'm not trying to delete everything right now. I want that line to go. Is the line still there on the SPY? Yeah. So that's really where the VIX is at. And then let's talk about small and mid caps. We have a lot of those earnings coming up. You do have that hidden bearish divergence on the Russell 2000. I don't think you have that on the daily. You don't have it on the daily for the large cap indices, but the Russell does have it. And I don't know. Let's go down to the 1-hour chart. It's very choppy, if I'm being honest. It looks like you kind of broke down from that bear flag and now you're retesting it. So this looks very different than the SPY and the Qs, but it also, just like them, has that 4-hour hidden bullish divergence. So it's not completely different. And then finally, the ARK ETF. Although the SPY closed up 1.5%, pretty much the same for the Qs, the ARK ETF was down about 3% on Friday, where you saw a lot of mid caps and growth stocks underperform. And you did close with a bearish engulfing candle. You also do have hidden bearish divergence, so it's a little bit strange. Not super strange, but the large cap indices right now, in my opinion, are looking better short term than the small/mid cap ones. But you're maybe just barely hanging on to this. We could even got a little bit, just barely hanging on to this broadening wedge, bear flag, whatever you want to call it. You did get a small bounce off the demand line. However, overall, hanging on by a thread. Even if we go over to the weekly, we're hanging on by a thread, and this is like the last thread that there is for this ETF from a chart standpoint. So you're holding it for right now. Hopefully it continues to do the same thing. And those are my overall thoughts on the market. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about some swings that I've alerted, and then in about 10-15 minutes we're going to be doing that fast food tier list with the lump. What else was I going to say? If you haven't hit the like button, feel free to do so. Now let's talk about Fisker, which hurt to see on Friday. Down 4% on a green day for the market, although small caps and mid caps were red. Well, the Russell was green, but a lot of these types of stocks were red on Friday. And Friday was a very key day. We had the earnings, I think, like last Wednesday, and then Thursday, Fisker gapped down after the earnings, and then it went all the way back up here. And then Friday, it tried to break back above this zone again, but if we really zoom in here, 2 days in a row, Fisker rejected this. It was so close both days, and it rejected the break back above this previous support. So I'm just starting off with the bad. That is bad. You also have some potential hidden bearish divergence on the daily. Those are not good indicators on the daily time frame. The 4-hour looks kind of similar. It's a very large wedge, and what happens with a lot of these like massive wedges is you can get a lot of fake outs before you actually reverse trend. That's something that is a little bit concerning. But if you watched my last stream, we talked about this on the 1 hour. It's inverse head and shoulders. This is not invalidated yet. If you can just get a reversal above 730-ish and hold above 730-ish and eventually start curling back up, it's not over yet. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this potential pattern this week. There's not a lot of room for error at this point after the sell-off you saw on Friday. But if there's something you want to hope for, it's for this to do something, anything. So it's really like the 4-hour and the daily, in my opinion, have kind of switched a little bit more towards the bearish side. But the 1 hour still has that chance, and if that chance plays out, it could fix those time frames. And the weekly is pretty much the same thing. Still testing a breakout of the wedge. Unfortunately, if you could have gotten a breakout if you closed up here, but you didn't. But you did confirm classic bullish, triple classic bullish divergence on the weekly. So the time frames are mixed. They are a little bit mixed. It really just, we have to see how the price action continues to like influence them. Then we have Tesla, another one which just didn't really do well despite the green day on Friday. It did close with a bearish engulfing. It's still holding the last major support. If that breaks, then the swing got stopped out. But I did talk about this bear flag earlier last week, so it wasn't like so much of a surprise. There was even the 1 hour pattern which really underperformed, and then you broke back down into the range, and now you're towards the bottom of it. So keeping an eye to see if Tesla can hold the bottom of this range it's been in throughout this week. And then finally, CLOV has earnings, I think, tomorrow after the close. So we'll see. On Friday, CLOV closed 1 cent above the stop. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. It was in a downsloping channel for like 2 months, broke out of the channel, and it made like halfway up to the first target, but it's just, the continuation just still isn't there. It's been so long. If some of you are frustrated, I understand it. I'm frustrated. It's like you have the most beautiful pattern, you break out of it, and then just nothing. It's just time after time. It's how it's been, and that's why there's a stop loss in every single trade I put out, because obviously a 12% is nothing compared to how much it's dropped overall. If we go over to the 4 hour, you can see you're just basically somewhat maybe or maybe not hanging on to your final support. We all know this is going to come down to the earnings. Like, I don't know what happens during the market hours tomorrow, but the earnings are really going to decide whether 137-ish is your floor for now, or your previous support flipped into resistance if the earnings are not good. We will see. So it's very similar to Fisker, a little bit of a waiting game going into this week. There's not too much to update, just the variables didn't play out as much as I initially hoped they would. There's still a chance, but that's really all I can say for right now. And let's move into large caps. Microsoft, pretty much a bullish hammer on Friday, even though you want those kind of like under your previous candle. But somewhat of a short-term reversal taking place here. If we go over to the 1 hour chart on a lot of large caps, which got crushed on earnings, you can really start to draw out some like downsloping channels and wedges, which is something I'll also be looking at this week. So let's just look at the 1 hour time frames first. This is Microsoft. This is Coinbase. It's kind of across the board. I'm just going to be drawing them really quickly. PayPal. This is what happens when you get these big sell-offs on so many different assets with earnings. They're going to, or some of them are going to kind of do the same thing. Amazon, very similar. Just like that. And they just broke out into the close on Friday. So here's something I will be keeping an eye on short term going into this week. Here is Meta, which you didn't see the news over the weekend. Meta is planning to implement large-scale job cuts this week that could affect thousands of employees. Yeah, we'll see what happens. The company has told its more than 87,000 employees to cancel non-essential travel this week. I was just going to mention this. Elon Musk was kind of doing the same thing when he took over Twitter very recently. The stock's already gotten beaten down. I'm really interested to see how this changes things or not tomorrow. It was developing a very nice downsloping channel. We will see what happens. Dustin in the chat feels that layoffs are a bullish reversal for Meta. I know other people feel differently. So news is news. Really all that matters in terms of the stock price is how people react to the news, and I can't tell you how everybody's going to react. So we will see this week. That was also another interesting thing that took place, and maybe that's even why futures are down. I don't know. Probably some other reasons. Google, same thing. You can drop a lot of those 1 hour charts on large caps heading into the week. So we will see what happens. Lucid is also, I believe, reporting earnings this week. I did share this in the weekly watch list with premium members, a little bit of a downsloping channel. So we'll see how all of that continues to develop. Just going back to the daily charts on some of these large caps. Over to PayPal. It did print a bullish pin bar candle, and it's holding support. This purple line I drew, it's all the way back to like November of 2017. Descending broadening wedge off the demand line. Okay. Amazon, really in the middle of nowhere still. It's just kind of back in the zone it used to be in. Google kind of bounced closer to that $83 support. I don't think it filled the gap, though. I think we talked about this on Thursday. So you're starting to see some bounces in certain places on large caps, but it's not everywhere. Netflix was down 3%. It was having a nice run. It got back into this gap zone, got above the 200-day moving average, and now it is back under it. Zoom was down 1%. Like, this is the craziest thing. You have probably the largest wedges you could ever ask for in any market appearing. Maybe that's not true, but very large wedges. And across the board, you've been getting these beautiful, super long-term wedges. You break out of them, and then the same thing kind of happened to the indices in general recently. We talked about this last week, and then you just bear flag right away, and then it's like, nope. So been another theme occurring in the market. I'm just really trying to put all this together before we head into this week, so all of you can kind of see the same picture that I do, or maybe if you have a different picture, then you can compare mine to yours. But that is where we're currently at. So those are my thoughts on everything heading into this week. That's pretty much the technical analysis part of this stream. Guyinhat is saying, why do we watch HSI so much? I just watch it for Chinese stocks, and the guy pretty much answered the same thing. I just do it as a part of my other market segment. I'm sure at some point I'll probably include like European markets and stuff like that, but yeah. All right, so now let's head into the fast food tier list. So the tensions are high. You've all seen my opinions on this before. They are the same. Nothing will change them. But the lump from the Discord, if any of you don't know who that is, well, about to hear his voice, has very different opinions. And we are going to talk about why we feel certain ways, and then based on what based on what we say, all of you can vote as to who has a better tier list. Let's see. Let me pull up my tier list so all of you can see what I'm thinking. Okay. And the lump or any other mods that want to join that are watching the stream right now, feel free to join Community Voice, and I'll drag you into my own channel. Hey, can you hear me?
Can you try again?
Yeah. Looks like it's good. Can you hear me still?
Should I close the stream? Because will there be a lag?
Yeah, close this stream. I'll share my screen with you.
Oh, word. Okay.
All right. Did you make your tier list yet or no?
I did.
How all right, send me a picture of it. Yeah.
Got you. Guyinhat also wants to join. He has his own list.
Anybody who wants to join, just join Community Voice, and I'll drag you.
I don't know who's spreading this misinformation that I have some wild opinions. I only disagree about Chick-fil-A. That's the only thing. It's
So
a
you agree with
pretty-
most of my list?
Let's see. I just sent you my list.
All right, let me pull that up. Okay, so this is Guy in Hats. This is yours. Just gonna put on here. Ignore the picture I'm sending you. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Give me 1 sec. Yeah, I can see it.
Guy in Hat, if you're watching this, just join like any voice channel you see in the Discord.
You're sharing your
just give me 1 second.
tier list, I guess, right? Because you have
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A
yeah.
at
I have
the
like 3
best.
of them pulled up.
Okay.
I already joined.
That is sorely mistaken, but
All right, here we go. All right, so these are the 3 tier lists. Feel free to mute yourself, Guy in Hat. These are 3 tier lists. The first one, the one that you are currently seeing, everybody, this is my tier list. This is how I'm feeling, okay? Then zoom in a little bit if I can. All right, this is my
the
tier
wrong
list.
tier list.
Debatable. Then we have the second one. This is the lumps tier list. All right, and then we have the third one, which is Guy in Hat's tier list. All right, 3 different tier lists.
What?
And
Oh.
we're going to talk about it for a second, but I'm going to leave it to poll in the chat. I'm going to make a poll in the chat for all of you to vote, and you're going to pick the winner out of us 3. But let's get started with all of this. All right, we're going to start with mine. Okay, I believe that the best fast food establishments are Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Five Guys. Okay, you got the best chicken. You've got the best Mexican food and fast food, of course, and the best burger, fast food, somewhat fast food establishment, okay? Let's get started with their best ones. The lump feels McDonald's. Out of all the fast food / moderate speed restaurants there are, he feels that McDonald's is the best. Interesting.
I mean,
Also,
I'm not wrong, but
also, I'm just putting it out there. Domino's, okay. I love Domino's is probably my favorite fast food pizza. I just don't know if I would say Domino's is at the best of all fast food. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah. Can I clarify? Like,
Pizza's
I put
pizza.
Like, yeah, exactly. I put the best pizza.
Okay, so you want like the
best.
variety.
I'm not saying like it's. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's respectable. And we both agree on Chipotle. Great. I mean, Chipotle, I think is hands down at the top. I feel like most people would agree with that. And then we
just
also
because of the category thing, not like overall. I wouldn't say
Okay.
Chipotle.
okay.
Yeah.
I disagree.
So all right, we're gonna get to you like on that. And then Popeyes. This is the one where I heavily disagree. So we're gonna talk to Guy in Hat about Chipotle in a second, but before we get into that, we need to start with this. Okay, the lump put Popeyes in his best. I put Chick-fil-A in my best. Everybody in the chat, who has better chicken?
Yeah.
Who has better chicken?
Wait.
Chick-fil-A
sorry.
or
I
Popeyes?
I don't feel strongly about the chicken. I feel strongly about the sandwich.
Okay, who has a better chicken sandwich? Chick-fil-A
Thank you.
or
Yes.
Popeyes? Just say Chick-fil-A or Popeyes in the chat. Who has a better normal chicken sandwich? Okay. I like completely different levels in my opinion. Just completely different levels.
I mean, go ahead. Explain why. Like, you can't. Let's hear
So,
the reason.
all right, let's get into it. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and it's very simple. I just feel like it's a perfect balance of spicing. From Popeyes, I don't think I've had a chicken sandwich there like once. It's just too salty to me. It just feels like they're trying to make up for all the flavor with salt. Okay. Now I know you're about to go pull up like some sodium fact sheet from like either of them, but you get what I'm saying? Like when you have Popeyes, don't you feel like it's really salty?
No.
Guy in Hat, have you had Popeyes?
First of all, you said you didn't have it once. That's the first problem.
Okay. But
Yeah.
like,
So
go ahead.
I like Popeyes. I just don't like it as much as Chick-fil-A. So it's nothing against Popeyes. I just think Chick-fil-A is better. It's better quality. It's bigger. It feels like.
That is lies.
Now
We're
look
talking
at
about the
this.
sandwich,
We
right?
also
Guy in
yes.
hat? That's cap. I sent pictures in social chat. You can check it out. You can see how big. And I will go to Chick-fil-A tomorrow and post a Chick-fil-A sandwich. There's
But
no
it's-
competition. in
It's
terms
not
of
just
size.
Guy and Hat. Pleberay and Zeke in the YouTube chat both saying Chick-fil-A too. I mean, the odds are stacked against you. I know there are some people in the Discord that agree with you. Who also said Popeyes is better, like Matty or Cheddar Freeze or something?
The most important person, Cheddar Freeze.
Cheddar Freeze, okay. So there's that whole discussion. Let me ask you, why do you feel that Popeyes is better than Chick-fil-A? Or their
Just
sandwich?
Go ingredient by ingredient. It's only the sandwich. I don't know the rest of the items. but
Okay.
The bread, Popeyes, easy.
I'll agree with that.
Okay,
Yep.
nice. Okay,
Now,
we're making
here's
progress.
a huge thing that you're not including. The Chick-fil-A sauce. Chick-fil-A sauce.
You can put Popeyes sauce on. Are you saying the Popeye sauce is inferior to the Chick-fil-A sauce?
I don't even really know what the Popeye sauce is, but I don't think
So
I've
we
ever.
can't have this
Okay,
discussion.
but here's the
What are
thing.
you
But here's the
saying?
thing. I've had a lot of sauces from fast food places, and I don't think I've ever had a sauce as good as standard Chick-fil-A sauce from fast food.
Try the spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes and get back to me.
Okay.
And
All right.
let me
So
know.
that's that
Like,
discussion.
Yeah.
That's that discussion.
Okay, sauce we'll leave aside. Chicken, there's no competition. None at all.
This is where I disagree.
Popeyes is
I literally
much
say
thicker.
I don't know.
Go.
But I agree with the buns. That's the only thing I'll agree with. Everything else that's in between the buns, Chick-fil-A wins on, in my opinion. Let's go see Guy and Hat's tier list, okay? Chick-fil-A at the best.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it. Jack in the Box and Qdoba, I've never had either. Have you had either of those, the lump?
Nope.
So we're just
once
going
or twice, but not enough to judge them.
Okay, we're going to leave that up to his interpretation. And here's one that, this is a big one. Me and you both put Chipotle in our best. Guyinhat, can you explain why you have Taco Bell at the best? How is it better than Chipotle?
So, for comparison wise, Qdoba and Chipotle are closer. I wouldn't consider Taco Bell and Chipotle really in the same realm.
Okay.
Agree.
Just a Qdoba, you get free guac. So that's the kicker for me.
Oh.
With Taco Bell, it's got the nostalgia. You go there like as a kid, you love the tacos, the Crunchwrap Supreme, which used to be like twice as big as it is now, but it's okay. Like in college, you go there at like midnight, and it's just all around. Everybody loves a good T-Bell run.
But when it comes down to the flavors, I just feel like Taco Bell is so standard. I wouldn't say it's bad. I feel like in a certain environment, in a certain mood, it tastes great. But if it's like the middle of the day, you're just on a lunch break, you want like the best like fast food Mexican food, I just don't feel like you could say Taco Bell is it. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, if you're going for authentic Mexican food, yeah, definitely not.
No, I'm not even saying
it's
authentic. Authentic's on a whole different ballpark. I'm even just saying like fast food Mexican. You know what I mean? Like I would, if I just want like a quick like anything, I would pick Chipotle or Moe's over Taco Bell. Not that Taco Bell is bad. What do you think, Thelump?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I don't think Taco Bell is the best. I think Guyinhat, you're completely right about the college thing, going out with your friends late at night. But in terms of quality, and will I go like right now in present state? Will I go to Taco Bell over Chick-fil-A? No. Will I go to Taco Bell over anything in my best category? No, I won't.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be my most controversial pick, but
yeah,
I'm a big fan. There's one less than a mile from my house, so
I feel like yours is more of a personality type of thing, and that's honestly what this should be. That's why we all have our own tier list. Like, you know, it's like it's for you. Like, how do I even put this? It just hits different to you than it does to us. You know what I mean? And it might not even be because of the food, right? So respect. And
Qdoba, I'm not sure about. You said it's just because of the guac, Guyinhat?
Not just because of the guac. I think all of the ingredients are going to be similar, except for Qdoba is offering you more bang for your buck. I'm a big guac and queso guy, and I can get that for Qdoba included in the price versus me paying like $5 or plus extra bucks at Chipotle.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then,
I could give you that. Yeah.
all right, next up. By the way, for anybody watching right now, we're looking at Guyinhat's tier list. Denny's, I have a very similar opinion to that as Taco Bell. It's good food, and I just feel like it's in a very like late at night. Like I like Denny's like late at night, but I just also don't feel like it has anything that like really stands out to me against any other fast food places. What do you think, the guy or the lump? About Denny's being the best.
I think I only have Denny's like when I'm in the middle of nowhere or it's 1 a.m. and I need something. I would much rather have IHOP.
All right, why do you feel that Denny's is better than IHOP, Guyinhat?
So, from where I'm from, there's both an equal amount of IHOP and Denny's, and I wouldn't say I go to Denny's at night. Usually, Denny's was more of a let's go get breakfast as a family. The Grand Slam, great classic.
Okay.
Yeah, the what is it? Moons Over Miami, the great little egg sandwich. Just love that. I don't know. IHOP, I feel just is just like I love IHOP. It's just a little bit below Denny's, just in the way I think their food tastes.
Okay, and then this is the big one because both of us put Five Guys as our like top like tier burger. You put Shake Shack, and if there's any other one, I think that could even be in the question for like a top tier burger. I would also agree that it's Shake Shack. Why do you think that Shake Shack, and I see you have Five Guys like right under it, but why do you feel that Shake Shack has the edge over Five Guys? Guyinhat.
So that was a really hard one for me, and I could have gone either way. Five Guys, I think, gives you a nice big burger, which is great. And Shake Shack really kind of cheaps you out. The burgers are absolutely tiny, but if they were the same size, I would go for the Shake Shack every time, just because I think it tastes better. I like just the quality of the burger. The bun is awesome. They do have some pretty dang good shakes too.
I agree with that. I think in general, even if you like think about the fries at Five Guys, like I don't know if they do the same for you guys, but they load up like your brown bag with fries, and I respect that. Even though I do feel like Five Guys and Shake Shack might be around the same, but I think the two of them like are more expensive than most other like burger places, at least for fast food. But I just feel like they're on a different level for a reason. So that's all of our best ones. I'm trying to see if like, do you guys notice any like major differences we have where like somebody has something in B and then somebody else has that in like F or something?
Where's your White Castle CD?
Oh, that's gonna be a big one. 1 second. So let's go back to mine. All right, so this is mine.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Wait, where is my White Castle? B?
B, yeah.
Okay, and then where'd you put yours?
Don't you dare put it higher.
Let's see where you put yours.
Put it where it belongs.
You
so
put
I
White
can't believe
Castle.
how many places you guys haven't been.
Oh, I haven't been to a lot of these. Yeah, I just haven't.
I grew up broke, so couldn't really eat out.
McDonald's, both of you have in B. I also have it in B.
Yeah. Respectable.
Both of you don't like White Castle?
No. White Castle is not good.
And you both have like actually
White Castle. I had nausea.
You've also like actually had White Castle, Guyinhat?
Yeah, I just don't. There's not much going on there.
It's crazy. I really feel like I'm the only person I even know that like likes White Castle. Everybody else hates it. I don't get it. It's me. But
the only thing it has is small burgers. That's it. Literally, you can't say it has good
there's
taste.
sliders.
It doesn't have good values. It doesn't have nothing.
Sparrow. Horrible pizza. In-N-Out. What do you guys think about In-N-Out?
Had it a few times, but I think just because of all the hype it gets, it deserves a low ranking. Amazing.
I even think I would maybe like even lower mine. I feel like B is still too high. I think it's C at best.
Yeah.
Fries are horrible.
Yep.
It's way overhyped.
Absolutely. And there's some people that like look at it as like the best thing ever on the planet. I don't get it, to be honest. So
That's why I
yeah.
put it as C.
I'm
It
trying to
doesn't
see.
deserve it.
All right, does anybody feel that Domino's is not the best fast food pizza here?
Specifically, Domino's handmade pan pizza, not the regular Domino's pizza.
Just in general, but yeah, I agree with that too. Guyinhat, what do you think
Regular
about
pizza, no good.
what do you think about Domino's, Guyinhat?
For just like nationwide, Domino's is gonna be the best. There's a couple local places
Yeah.
that have chains in my area that are way better, but yeah.
Yeah, I would just like
Nationwide,
the nationwide. So, okay. And then I think we love KFC around the same. I think we agree with most other things. So I think we've got most of it done. Now we're gonna leave it up to
On most things.
Yeah, it's just like the top ones. So all right, just to reiterate to everybody, these are the final tier lists. All of you are gonna vote right now and declare the fast food tier list winner. So you're looking at mine right now. You can see it says champ on the screen. These are mine. I got Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, and Five Guys at the best. All right. Now we're going to move on to the lumps. He has McDonald's, Domino's, Chipotle, and Popeyes at the best. Different to mine in the sense that he put McDonald's at the best. Also different to mine in the sense that he put Popeyes instead of Chick-fil-A. I would actually probably agree with Domino's.
Yes.
So those two.
McDonald's is the OG.
where he is different.
Don't disrespect McDonald's.
I love McDonald's. Again, I just don't feel like it's like the best, but that's your opinion. Maybe some people share that opinion. So that is the lumps tier list. And then finally, we have Guyinhat, who put Chick-fil-A just like me at the top instead of Popeyes. He added Jack in the Box, Qdoba, which me and the lump have not had. He also added Taco Bell and Denny's. Me and the lump did not do that, but we do respect Taco Bell and Denny's. We just don't feel like they're the best. However, he has, personal ties or whatever it is. And then the big difference for his one, and maybe this is where some of you might want to vote for him or not, is instead of putting Five Guys like me and the lump did for the best burger, Guyinhat put Shake Shack as the best burger. All right.
I put McDonald's as best burger. Check my list.
Well, you put both, but you feel that McDonald's has a better burger than Five Guys? I feel like we talked about this very recently. You talked about the double quarter pounder.
Yes.
In what world could you?
Okay, look. The burger from Five Guys is $10. Okay, a double quarter pounder can be $7.
Well, again,
or $6,
we're not talking about the pricing. We're talking about the quality of food, and that is it.
Guyinhat considered value as well. That's why he put Shake Shack.
Okay, but all right. Imagine, just for the sake of this argument, price is not a thing, and we're just talking about pure taste. Okay. What tastes better?
Taste.
A Five Guys burger or a double quarter pounder, or whatever burger you want from McDonald's. Just taste.
TBH. When I bite into a double quarter pounder, I don't care if it's. I know it's probably like processed and like fake, but like the juiciness of it is unmatchable. That I don't get that in Five Guys. That's
Guyinhat, please, like, do you believe that McDonald's has a better burger than Five Guys?
No, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Like,
all right.
Want to just drink a glass of grease, lump? That sounds like your thing?
Lump, I honestly think you might have
not opposed.
Based on the chat, I think you might have actually had it until you said that. You might have screwed yourself over because I don't feel like most people would agree that McDonald's is a better burger than Five Guys. But we will see. We're going to put it up to vote right now, everybody. I just showed you. I'm going to show all of you the RT list once again. This is the lumps. You see, just look at what's the best. We're only really focusing on that. Look at the best. This is what he thinks is the best. Now we are going to look at mine. This is what This is what I think is the best, these three. I would also agree on moving up Domino's to the top if we're doing it in terms of categories. And then finally, let's go to Guyinhat right over here. So these are the three ones. It is poll time. Look in the live chat if you're in the live chat right now. And I'm going to put best tier list. And here we go. So I'm gonna put mine first. Then we're going to put lump. Put Guyinhat. And the poll is in the chat. There you go. I guess we'll just leave it up for like 2 minutes and we'll see which one has the most votes. So the poll is currently in the live chat. Make sure you click that. I know a lot of you like watching on TV or whatever. Just go on your phone real quick, drop into the into the votes. Don't do it based on whoever you like the most. If you're in the Discord, genuinely do it on who you agree with in terms of their tier list. All right. While we're waiting on the votes to come in and for there to be a clear answer, let me ask both of you. We're going to start in just like a quick 1-minute explanation, not financial advice. The lump, what are your thoughts on the stock market right now in general?
No clue, TBH. I'm just dollar cost averaging in.
Okay, very fair
looking at
statement.
China. I haven't looked at the charts in a minute. I know Bitcoin is not doing too hot right now, or it's just stuck in a channel that I posted. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Just averaging for long term mostly.
And Guyinhat, what do you feel about? I just saw your tweet about like getting back into things. How are you feeling overall?
Yeah, so it's so volatile. I've just been mostly just doing day trade stuff, not really doing anything long term. I just think with the market conditions and the reasons why we've come down so much haven't even been relieved yet. And how spooky it is, how close the current price action has matched to 2008. And we still haven't even hit the massive drop that 2008 did.
Yeah.
Not saying we will, but I'm just saying the correlation is spooky.
Okay. And you also posted something about that recently, the lump, right? About that correlation, like a side-by-side chart or something.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I matched up the time it took, the retracement fibs, like they're all pretty accurate. It is
very, very accurate.
270 days from the top to the drop.
From a technical standpoint, I think the argument is there. And this is probably the first time where I'm like being very different than I usually am. But I just feel like from like a price standpoint, from a market cap standpoint, from a PE ratio standpoint, if we were to see that type of a decline, I just can't imagine what the stocks that are already down like more than 50% like year to date would be like, because that's like what, like 3x the decline we've already seen if that were to fully play out. And we already talk about like Meta and Amazon being like multi-year lows. Apple's held up, but like of course like the small caps and mid caps down like 80-90%. I just can't imagine how that could, it's always possible, but it's just hard for me to even think about the prices that would be on stocks if the overall market was that low. Do you feel me?
I completely agree with you. I feel the same way, but I also felt the same way about saying DraftKings won't reach $10. So like, yeah, at this point, I'm completely open-minded.
It's just like, and I'm just using this as an example because I've talked about it a lot on the stream. Like even just looking at CLOV, it was like 28 or something last year. It's already down to $1.37. If the market were to drop like another 3x to decline, what is CLOV? What, 10 cents? I'm just saying like from a mathematical standpoint, if the decline on stocks is still going to be the same amount, the more we drop, just thinking about a 3x decline of the stocks that have already dropped 80 to 90%, of course they could lose 80 to 90% of their value again. That's something I learned a very hard way with Luna earlier this year. But it's just crazy to me that like actual stocks that are still growing as companies, at least some of them, are seeing these declines and could continue to. It's crazy to me, but time will tell. We will see. And I feel like the votes are in. It's been a few minutes now. I think there is a very clear winner. Elections. Actually, oh my gosh, no, there is not. There's no clear winner.
Who won? I can't see it.
It is 11% for the lump, who's the clear loser.
Let's go.
But we have a tie. So let's go. We have a tie. Me and Guyinhat are actually tied. So I believe one person voted for the lump, and then 4 people voted for me, and 4 people voted for Guyinhat. So we're gonna leave it up to the next vote. If we get one more vote before I end the stream, for me or Guyinhat, that'll seal the deal. So if anybody hasn't voted, you can literally decide who wins, me or Guyinhat. Just to show you both our ones again. Mine is currently on stream, and then this is Guyinhat's. Okay, so if anybody hasn't voted, you can literally be the deciding vote.
I will lower taxes.
And of course, me and the lump and the Guyinhat cannot vote. I just want to also make that clear.
I voted for myself.
Imagine the lump is the only person that voted for himself. That'd be crazy.
No, I also voted for myself. So
wait, you both voted for yourself? like legitimately?
Yep.
And Guyinhat, you did too?
Yeah.
Well, everybody, this is a good ending to the stream. You know what they say. They call me champ for a reason, and that's what I am right now. The
Nah,
champion of the
nah.
fast food tier list. I will never let the lump forget this. Also, thank you, guyinhat, for helping me win. Not that you did anything sketchy, but I feel like that contrast really helped people realize how stupid the lumps list was. And the lump, I really would like to also thank you for joining the stream and being very good about understanding that I just have a better fast food tier list.
All I'll say is Cheddar agrees with my pick. So
yeah, that is
that's all
worth
I
a
need
few
to
votes
gauge.
for sure. I will admit that. But
That's all I need. And the rest of the things, like, I don't mind that much. But
yeah,
Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, that's
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 the
an
big one.
atrocity that needs to
That
be
one,
corrected.
and then the
I think,
Five Guys versus McDonald's are the big ones for
yeah.
me. That's just where I'm just so like.
Let's do a side-by-side comparison whenever you have your Vegas thing, like a blind test. Like,
Oh, we
then you'll
should. Oh my
realize
gosh, we should
your
do so
errors.
many different like in real life tier things. That'd be cool, like food and
Yes.
stuff. All right, so yeah, next May, all of you are invited to Las Vegas for my 21st birthday. Me and Mehdi will be having a boxing match. We're still figuring out the weight and the prize and everything, but if any of you want to start planning that out, feel free to contact me. But I'm going to talk about it much closer to then eventually. But I'm like actually serious, by the way, people watching this here. It's going to happen. I mean, all right, I'm 80% serious. Okay, I'm not 100% serious. We'll see. But thank you all for watching the stream. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Shout out to the Lump, who is the guy in the Discord, and then also guyinhat for joining in on the stream. Make sure you go say what's up to him in the Discord. And I will talk to all of you sometime later this week. Peace out.
Peace. All right. Talk to you later. Peace.